Let's start our debate with our expert panel. Half for the prosecution, half for the defense. The question, is Jodi Arias winning this battle of wits on the stand? Will she convince the jury she killed in self-defense? Or will the prosecution prove she's a pathological liar who slaughtered Travis in revenge for refusing to consider her as a serious life partner? Who is winning? We begin with former prosecutor Fred Teesey.
Screaming at me, those words are going to bury her. Her memory was horrible. I thought the cross-examination scored a lot of points, and as far as I'm concerned, the only thing she's earning for herself at this point is a blindfold and a cigarette.
Anahita Sedaghatfar for the defense.
I think it was another great day for the defense yesterday. Clearly, she was well prepared. She was methodical in her responses. And, Jane, there were a couple of times when she tripped up the prosecutor. And I think the prosecutor, yes, he's a skilled attorney. He's a great trial attorney. But he is being way too aggressive out of the gate. And he runs a serious risk of alienating those jurors. And this could end up backfiring on him. So I think he needs to seriously consider taking a step back on Monday and not attacking.
All right, John Lieberman.
First of all, the jury got to see how assertive Jodi can be, that she's not some cowering, battered woman, which I think was part of Mr. Martinez's plan with being so aggressive. But let's not forget the facts that continue to come out, the lies. Mr. Martinez is doing one thing, and that is continuing to bring out lies about the finger, for example. He pointed out that now she has 2 to 3 different stories about how her finger was hurt, just like she had 3 different stories about the murder. And one thing quickly, Jane, she's admitted to the killing. She's admitted to getting rid of the gun. She's admitted now, or he's trying to get her to admit to witness tampering. There's not much else she can admit to.
Reenie Sandler.
Round 1, Arias. She won the first round against this prosecutor. The prosecutor took the bait. He went for the minutia rather than big points in terms of lying to the police, things that would really score points with that jury. He took the bait. Jodi Arias wins the first round.
One of the most heated exchanges between Jodi and prosecutor Juan Martinez was all about kinky sex with candy. Who knew? Was this the best way to try to make the point that Jodi enjoyed her sex games with Travis and only painted them as degrading, humiliating, and abusive when she was accused of murder and needed something to hang her self-defense claim on? And we'll start with Anahita on that.
Well, I mean, you heard the sex tape, didn't you? How can anyone argue that telling your girlfriend that she sounds like a 12-year-old girl having an orgasm and that's hot, and that he fantasizes about tying her up to a tree and having anal sex with her, and that he wants her to feel raped and enjoy it? How can anyone argue that that is not sexual domination? Her argument here is self-defense. She's arguing she was sexually abused, sexually degraded. This ties into her argument that she was a victim, a battered woman, and a victim of domestic violence.
No. First of all, here's a lot of problems with that. There's absolutely no evidence that supports this. A lot of her claims were not backed up by her diary, and her story changed over time. And I'm sorry.
It's evidence.
No, come on. You know what? It is evidence, but it's not good evidence, and it's evidence of a lie. And here's the problem. If she really was battered, and that's why she killed him, she should have gone to the police, and she should have been on the witness stand for 90 minutes saying this is a terrible, terrible tragedy. I'm sorry I killed the guy, but this is what he did to me. Not run the guy down for 9 days and then tell the jury, oh, by the way, I forget about the murder. So you know what? None of her testimony, none of her conduct is consistent with a woman who was battered. I'm sorry.
All right,
Reenie. She is a liar.
It absolutely is consistent. It is consistent with somebody who's been battered and abused. The lack of memory during this event is consistent with someone who has suffered continuous abuse. So it's all relevant, it's all consistent, and it's fitting perfectly into the defense theory.
Does she remember erasing the camera? Does she remember putting the camera in the dishwasher? Obviously, she remembers lying and saying she had nothing to do with it until the police found the camera and got the pictures that she thought she erased. I'm sorry, not a single step that this woman has taken. And we haven't even started to talk about her efforts. We haven't even started to talk about her efforts to try and get someone to lie and perjure herself, which I thought was the most scalding cross-examination I've seen in years.
The jury buy this explanation of her seemingly cold-hearted kissing session with another guy just hours after she kills Travis. Let's bring in the panel, starting with Fred Teesey.
No, I think it's just more of the same kind of lies and manipulation. I mean, I think the theory of the prosecution has to be, and I think it's consistent with it, is that every step that this woman has taken has been a lie and manipulation. I mean, you look at those pictures of her with gorgeous blonde hair, and then you look at her on the witness stand. I mean, she's changed her appearance to try and lie and manipulate this. And look, being battered and being abused is a very dangerous and very serious problem in this country. What I find appalling and quite frankly repugnant is this woman's trying to use it as a get-out-of-jail-free card for brutally murdering a man.
All right, Anahita.
I disagree. I've said all along, Jane, that a big part of this trial is going to be the expert testimony. And be assured that that defense is going to call a mental health expert, a battered woman, domestic violence expert, that will explain that Jodi Arias' behavior at all times was consistent with the woman who is a victim of domestic violence.
John, you know what?
Find an expert to say whatever you want.
Exactly.
You can find an expert to say exactly whatever you want if you have enough money. This case is about credibility, and Jodi has no credibility, and therefore you can't believe her self-defense story that she killed in self-defense.
Are you saying post-traumatic stress is not a real disorder? That people that suffer traumatic incidents don't remember everything that happened during the trauma? I mean, you can't make that determination, and I've been in trial after trial where experts have gone on the stand and have verified that it is very real, that people that suffer traumatic incidents in their life black out, that they will not remember every single detail.
Okay, wait, Fred, go ahead.
Right, don't manipulate the jury and make them wait 9 days for you to play that card. That's my point. Of course, I can get an expert to come in and testify that I'm smart and well-spoken, but that doesn't make it true. The problem is her credibility is shot. She sits there for 9 days to manipulate. She remembers every little detail, and then, as Lou says, this is credibility. She doesn't remember the most important facts, and then she brings an expert in to basically say she's telling the truth.
Reedy, 10 seconds.
10 seconds. I want to share
in your journal how deeply you love somebody if they just did something horrible to you. It just doesn't make sense.
10 seconds.
Again, I disagree. I think that piece of evidence, if anything, it helps Jodi's case. It shows that she truly loved this man and that something had to have happened during the incident that caused her to have to do what she did.
What a debate. Thank you. Fantastic panel. Jodi back on the stand next week for more crime.